The Dragon legacy continues. Across the span of British history, truth and legend have often been woven together. Chronicles have been shaped to flatter kings, myths elevated to explain dynasties, and inconvenient realities pushed quietly aside. Yet within this fabric lies an inheritance far older, stranger, and deeper than official records admit: the bloodline of the dragon. Nicholas de Vere's The Dragon Legacy first lifted the veil on this hidden tradition. It did not simply repeat the old myths, it sought their origin. Here, the Grail families emerged not as invention, but as descendants of a very real tradition of kingship, one bound to ancient magic, ritual, and blood. Elves, fairies, Grail maidens, and the mysteries of the Sangreal are reinterpreted as echoes of a forgotten aristocracy, one whose roots extend to the dragon court of antiquity. The book became a touchstone for readers seeking to understand the link between legend and lineage, between Europe's myths and the families who ruled its kingdoms. In The Dragon Seed, de Vere pressed further, gathering genealogies, arcane records, and esoteric testimony. Here the scope widens. The descent of noble houses is laid out in detail, revealing patterns of interconnection hidden in plain sight. Shocking claims emerge that the lineage carried a divine, a lineage associated with heightened perception and inherited insight. A spark of knowing passed through bloodlines, an inherited capacity for clear sight beyond accepted narratives, that traditions of Gnostic descent survived beneath the surface of Christendom, and that the supposed myths of fairies and elves may have been rooted in an actual bloodline. It is a book that challenges, provokes, and deepens the mystery introduced in The Dragon Legacy. Now, Inbred Britain by Abbé de Vere turns to evidence that cannot be ignored. This is not the language of myth, but of history, science, and law. Through DNA studies, genealogical records, anthropology, and the analysis of noble succession, the tangled reality of Britain's aristocracy is laid bare. For centuries, dynasties deliberately intermarried to preserve their perceived gifts of blood and spirit. In doing so, they created fragility, decline, and the collapse of entire houses. This book restores to the record what official peerages omit: that in the attempt to preserve power through blood, families bred weakness as well as strength. Inbred Britain is the reckoning, where claims are tested against evidence, where fantasy yields to fact, and where the real consequences of inbreeding are confronted. Together, these three works form a dialogue across generations. The Dragon Legacy awakens the imagination, the Dragon Seed deepens the mystery, and Inbred Britain delivers the proof. This is The Dragon Legacy continued, where legend and history meet, and where the voices of the past still speak to the present. We are the Royal Dragon Court, celebrating 30 years of publication of our work, from our ancient and royal ancestors passed down through blood. This cannot be faked, it is in our DNA.